In this video, I'll tackle the most common question that I get from people asking me, how much will it cost me to come to America in terms of a visit visa or a student visa, a J1 visa, and so on and so forth, and even the green card. Let me start with the most common, which is the visit visa. And this applies to all kinds of visas. This is how I want you to think. Think with this mindset that if someone was to stop you at the port of entry and they ask you how you are going to support yourself, and let's say you don't have a relative, you don't have an organization that is sponsoring you to come to the United States, remember, as a general rule, to make sense. What do I mean by make sense? You think as an individual, if you are to come to America, and apart from the air ticket, which you can Google, anyone can find that information. When you arrive in America, think of, are you going to stay in a hotel or a motel? In America, motels are cheaper. Of course, they go with standards. Most people know this as 5-star hotels, 3-star hotels, or 2-star hotels. So a motel, it's not like I mean this, but think of a 2-star hotel in your country, okay? So the lower the star, the cheaper it is. So I want you to think of $50 per night. I want you to think of $80 per night. Those are affordable rates. If you got 30, really, that's not a place I would advise anyone. So from 50 is average to $80, you're doing very well in terms of cost. If you want to stay in a nice hotel, we are thinking of $100, $120 to around $220, $240. If you go to $250 per night, now we are starting to talk about luxury hotels or 5-star hotels. And also, of course, the location and the state. If you're in a big city where there are more people, more than likely it's going to be expensive. If it's cheap, probably it's not in a nicer part of town. If it's like 30 minutes away from the city and you can take Uber 30 minutes or 15 or 20, now you're talking about nice, quiet neighborhoods, and you're paying $80 per night, you're doing very well. So I want you to do that and do the math of $80 or $50, whatever you choose, times 30 days, and now you are really getting on accommodation. Even this will help you to answer some of the questions in the embassy. They don't like taking your documents. From my experience, people tell me they didn't even ask for that bank statement. We tell you carry just in case. They're only going to ask for the things they ask, which are on the checklist. Your passport size photographs, and so on and so forth, the application and the payment. But when it comes to how are you going to support yourself, do that math make sense. Think of food, okay? A simple burger or any kind of food, a plate of food, we are thinking of $8 and above, but I will calculate around $25 for food. It depending if you're one of those people who has to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But if you're some of us who can eat one meal and drink water, I want you to think of $25 or $30 per day. Then do the math for 2 weeks or 30 days. Now we've covered transportation. Now we have covered food. Now think of Uber. Think of $15 per day, or think of, that's too low. I would think of $50 depending on where you're going also. So you can see, if we were to do the math of the motel, $50, we do another $25 for food, we are on $75. Then we do another $50 on transportation. We are now on $125. So you're looking at $130, $150 per day. Calculate that times 30 days. Depending on how long you're coming to spend time in America, that is what you are going to explain to the port of entry. If they ask you how are you going to support yourself, you say, well, I have this amount of money. Can we see a bank statement? Definitely. Where's the money coming from? That is what you have on the bank account. Now, keep in mind that if you're coming for a visit visa and you are not doing very well at home, coming to visit for tourism is a luxury thing. It can't be that you're taking all your savings just to come and visit a country. That does not make sense to them. And remember, the law tells them that anyone coming to the United States has the intent to come and never going back. That is the general assumption they have. So meaning you must have either someone is sponsoring you, or you're coming for an event or something like that. But if you're that person coming for tourism, I think you need to demonstrate some travel history, a good job, or a good business, or something that takes you to America and is convincing enough. But generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, makes sense. And if they were to call someone who is supporting you, make sure they have their phones working. If you are coming for an event, make sure their phones are working. That is my general advice. Let's go to the student visa. I see people asking me, but how much do I need? Every school has a budget, and that's why they project on the bank statement. So the school has already done what it costs for them to live in that area. What will it cost you in terms of food, accommodation, transportation, school fees, and tuition, and everything combined? That's why they ask you for a 1-year bank statement, meaning you will be able to support yourself. And that is written in the law that international students have to be able to demonstrate that. Do you have to have that money in the account? No. Because they know that you have social ties, you have family ties, you have people who are probably going to support you. Number 2, when you come here, you might need roommates. You might have a dormitory that costs $1,000 or $1,200 per month, but maybe it's the 4 of you, or maybe, I don't know how many. We can't give big figures, but let's say it's 4 people in one apartment, then we are doing the math of 1,200 divided by 4. And I already did for you the math for food. I already did the math for transportation. So all I'm saying is you really need to make sense. When you're coming as a student, are you going to support yourself? Do you have someone that is coming to someone you're coming to their home to support you? So that is the best way to think, okay? Now, when you hear people saying, I came with $200 in my pocket, what do they mean? Is they came here, and of course, America has just those opportunities. There are people who come with that money, I'm not going to lie, just to support themselves for 1 month. And if there are family members that are going to hold their hand, they are going to give them a room to sleep the first 1 or 2 months. And then you are going to be a good visitor, and you have a good host. All you need is the money to start you off. Okay, it's one of these countries you can come in the morning. If you don't pick the kind of jobs, you can be working the next week or so. I'm not saying week is too early. Think of the 2nd or 3rd month, okay? If you have working papers. If you don't, I'm not telling you wherever have me. Again, the law says you are not supposed to work on a visit visa. Do people work? Yes. Are they supposed to work? No. I mean, sometimes I have to make my videos as realistic as I can. People work. And haven't you seen the videos here on TikTok? And they are chasing them down. No one chases people down. If you obey the law, you don't do the wrong things, do the right things, my friends. Don't do bad things. Don't cross the red lights. Don't drink and drive. Okay? Don't go using those bad things. Okay? Just be a good citizen. And everything will work out for you. Okay? When it comes to J1 visas, H1B visas, those are employment-based visas. All you need is just to support yourself for even 2 weeks. In America, they usually pay every 2 weeks you get a salary. Or they pay per hour, but they tend to, even some places pay on a weekly basis. I know in healthcare, for them to attract employees, they like paying on a weekly basis. Okay, but generally speaking, they pay people every 2 weeks. They don't wait for a full month. So that's how you think. Is your visa, green cards? People ask me, how will it, a green card, you just need a sponsor, and you be patient with the sponsor. You're in people's homes, just cooperate. It's not gonna take too long. Just be there, be nice to them, or clean up. They might need you to help with children. Hang in there. One day you'll be independent. You need time to learn how to drive, get the driver's license, get their social security number. You need that person's address to start life. And then after 6 weeks, that is my moving point. After 6 weeks, you should be now starting to move away, because now you've used the American dollars to get rent. Especially if the 2 of you, you are a couple, that's how you do it. If you need any of this information in detail, if you need any help with changing your visa from visit visa, J1 visa to student visa, extension, if you need to remove any restrictions from your visa and stay longer, Janet Rangi, 67@gmail.com. We will guide you, we will send you to the lawyers, and we will help you not to overstay your visa. Okay, don't overstay your visa. Janet Rangi, 67@gmail.com. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you so much for always coming.